Hello, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. So, we are now going to do a few honorable mentions. I got my little book here on the series that we were just running for the month of December, which is my 31 favorite psychedelic bands. There's a few bands I didn't put in for various reasons. I'll try to let you know. One of the bands was King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizards. The reason I didn't mention them is because they do so many different genres. I'm not even sure which albums they have that are the psychedelic ones. I'm sure they have them. I know I've heard them, but I'm not sure which ones they are, so I just decided to leave them out. But they're still a great band, lots of different sounds, and they just try everything. And they put out albums, 2 or 3 of them a year. They're just like that. That's the way they are. Another band, of course, the Brian Jonestown Massacre, kind of a funny band. I think of this band more as a punk band, but they do have some psychedelic elements to their music as well. But I wanted to give them a mention here. The Grateful Dead, of course. There's a lot of people out there, huge Grateful Dead fans. Grateful Dead fans are probably the most loyal fans of any fans anywhere. I'm not a huge fan of their music. I know I don't dislike their stuff. I'm kind of inert to it. I don't really hear it or think about it. I did have a friend years ago when I was in my 20s who was a Deadhead, and we would go to his house for hours, and that's all he had was Grateful Dead albums, so that's what we listened to. But I'm not sure what I heard though. The Byrds, of course, I like them. They have a lot of pop elements that I don't care as much for. I do like their psychedelic elements. I just wish there was more of them. So the Byrds, and they're also a band too. Just to be fair to the Byrds, I haven't explored their discography too far, so I can't really make too many comments one way or the other about them. I'm sure that if I did, I might change my whole opinion about them. Apple Pie and the Motherhood Band, another good band, new to me. Haven't listened to a ton of their stuff, so that's why I didn't really include them here. And the Pink Fairies, of course, I ordered some albums a few separate times from a few different places, and for whatever reason, the albums were sold out before I got them, so they didn't end up sending them to me. But definitely would have been a band here if I hadn't had that happen. Robert Wyatt, had him a couple times on a couple different series I've run. His music is really different. It's unlike anything else that I've heard, but it's definitely got that psychedelic element to it in points. And we'll just give you a couple more here. The Kaleidoscope. This is a band that definitely had a lot of psychedelic flavor to the music. Maybe it wasn't up to what I was hoping for. And Moby Grape, which is another band that a lot of people quite like, that I wasn't able to get any of their CDs, so I decided not to include them as well for that reason. And that's pretty much the reason for a lot of the bands who didn't get included. I just couldn't get stuff from them that I wanted, or I wasn't able to listen to their stuff when I wanted to. So, yeah, don't want to include something that I haven't had a list for. The other band that I had forgotten about, I had them on my list originally and then took them off because I decided instead of buying the box set that they had of them, I went with the box set for the Electric Prunes, who I liked a lot more, and that band is Love. I probably will eventually get that box set, but I only had enough for 2 box sets, and 1 box set I couldn't get, so I ended up spending that on some other albums that I needed. So that's my honorable mentions. I hope you've enjoyed this series. It was fun to do. To be honest, I think I learned more from this series than just about any other series. There was a lot of stuff out there that I wanted to explore. This forced me to explore it, and I discovered a bunch of new bands for me to listen to, and bought a bunch of new albums. So I'm looking forward to a lot of that. And I hope to see you all for the next series, which will start tomorrow. That series will be my 31 favorite albums that came out in 1973, one of my favorite years. Probably 78, 75, and 73 are probably my favorite rock years in history. Maybe 1980 in there as well. But I wanted to do this year. I've been waiting for a while to do it. So we're going to give that. It'll start tomorrow. I hope to see you all then for the 31 bands that I've chosen. And hopefully, well, actually, not bands, it's albums. So for the 31 albums I've chosen, there's 4 bands that have doubles here. The rest are all singles, and I'm going to try keep it to that, and hope to see you all then. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and if you want, you can make comments about any of the bands, or you can add bands to the list of honorable mentions if you want to. And have yourself a good evening, a good night, and goodbye here from the Prog Monster.